Hey there, welcome back to our channel. Today we're diving into a really hidden danger, the dark arts. Just think about it. What if the person you trust the most is actually working against you? Scary, right? Imagine that friendly face hiding a secret agenda. In the murky world of espionage, this isn't just a wild idea. It's a constant, unsettling reality. The line between friend and foe gets super blurry, like it's written in invisible ink. It's wild how trust can be so easily manipulated, don't you think? This is the realm of the clandestine, where nothing is ever truly as it seems. The word clandestine itself whispers of secrecy. It describes something done privately, concealed from view, especially for an illicit or unauthorized purpose. It carries the weight of a secret that must be kept, a constant fear of being discovered. The word's origins trace back to the Latin adverb, meaning secretly, painting a picture of hushed conversations and hidden movements that have defined covert activities for centuries. A honeypot, or honey trap, is when someone pretends to be romantically interested in a target to gain their trust. The aim? To get the target into a tricky situation that's secretly recorded. It's all about exploiting vulnerabilities, you know? It's pretty chilling how this evidence gets twisted into tools for blackmail and coercion, right? Imagine someone digging up your secrets and using them to pressure you into sharing sensitive info or doing something you really don't or would want to do. This whole method feels like a dark art, tapping into emotional manipulation and deception. It's all about making someone feel trapped, with the looming threat of public exposure hanging over their heads. It's wild how little care is given to the target's well-being in these situations. You know, it really shows just how low some people can go when they want to get what they want. Consider the spy, conducting clandestine operations under the deep cover of night to gather intelligence vital to their nation's security. Or imagine a group of dissidents holding a clandestine meeting in a forgotten cellar, planning their next move far from the watchful eyes of an oppressive regime. Even on a personal level, a clandestine relationship kept secret from family and friends operates in this same hidden space, fraught with the risk of exposure. These acts, by their very nature, are designed to remain in the dark, their success dependent on staying unseen. Within the world of intelligence, this secrecy gives rise to what insiders colloquially call the dark arts. This evocative term refers to the mysterious, often unethical methods employed in covert operations. These practices go far beyond conventional intelligence gathering. They delve into a world of profound deception, psychological warfare, and even violence, methods that society would rightly condemn as unfair, unlawful, or morally repugnant. Practitioners of these arts operate in a wilderness of mirrors, a disorienting landscape where truth and deception are deliberately made indistinguishable. A key component of these dark arts is deception and trickery, often on a grand scale. This is the bedrock of covert action. During the Cold War, for instance, intelligence agencies like the CIA famously sought the expertise of professional magicians. They commissioned a manual on trickery, adapting the principles of stage magic, misdirection, sleight of hand, and illusion for the high-stakes theater of espionage. The goal was to pass messages, smuggle materials, and create convincing disguises that could fool even the most vigilant adversary, turning deception into a finely honed craft. Psychological manipulation is another pillar of this shadowy world. This isn't just about simple lies. It's about constructing an entirely false reality in the mind of a target. An interrogator might use a few small, verified pieces of information to create the illusion of being all-knowing, breaking a subject's will to resist. On a larger scale, black propaganda, disinformation deliberately disguised to look like it originates from the enemy itself, can be used to sow discord, erode morale, and influence the strategic decisions of an entire nation. The objective is to weaponize the mind, turning an opponent's perceptions against them. Then, There are the more direct methods: covert action and sabotage. These clandestine operations are designed to physically disrupt or dismantle an enemy's capabilities. History is filled with chilling examples, from the targeted assassination of adversaries using highly specialized, untraceable weapons like a poison-tipped umbrella, to audacious, large-scale engineering feats like the CIA's Project Azorian, a secret mission to salvage a sunken Soviet submarine from the depths of the Pacific Ocean. These actions are designed to strike decisively from the shadows, leaving the enemy weakened and confused. The dark arts also embrace the use of advanced or forbidden technology. Today, this could involve leveraging artificial intelligence to create convincing deepfakes for propaganda, deploying mass surveillance systems that monitor entire populations, or developing autonomous weapons that can make life or death decisions with minimal human oversight. The use of such technologies pushes the boundaries of ethics, raising profound questions about accountability and control. Finally, the most sinister aspect of the dark arts involves methods that are unequivocally illicit. Historically, this has included horrific programs like the CIA's MKUltra, which conducted non-consensual mind control experiments on human subjects. In other contexts, it can refer to an adversary's use of human trafficking or drug smuggling to finance operations or gain strategic leverage. These methods are considered morally bankrupt because they fundamentally violate human dignity, taking away a victim's freedom and autonomy over their own body and mind. The actions of those who practice these dark arts are, by necessity, highly classified, shielded from public scrutiny to avoid accountability for crossing lines that civilization has deemed sacred. This clandestine mindset, however, isn't confined to spy agencies. It can manifest in organizations that present a legitimate front while operating with a hidden, irregular agenda. A prime example can be found in the world of fraternal orders, with the phenomenon of clandestine lodges. If you're not familiar with this term, you're not alone. It's a subject of intense discussion within communities like Freemasonry, but the principles for identifying them offer a valuable lesson in spotting any deceptive group. Clandestine lodges often exhibit several characteristics that distinguish them from regular, recognized organizations. A primary trait is their lack of recognition by the mainstream, established governing bodies. They operate outside the accepted structure, unrecognized and unendorsed. They also tend to lack adherence to the traditional landmarks, the core principles, rituals, and laws that define the authentic fraternity. This deviation from established norms is a significant warning sign. Furthermore, these groups are often marked by a lack of transparency in their practices and rituals. While legitimate organizations have secrets, their governance and fundamental tenets are typically open to members. Clandestine groups, however, often shroud their entire operation in an unnecessary and suspicious level of secrecy. Ultimately, all these factors contribute to a profound lack of legitimacy. They are considered illegitimate because they fail to follow the traditional practices and principles that ensure accountability and integrity. These unauthorized organizations are often seen as a direct threat to the legitimate fraternity. They can spread misinformation, defraud individuals seeking genuine membership, and tarnish the reputation of the entire community. Clandestine lodges often lack the very transparency and accountability that are essential pillars of the institution they claim to represent, making them a potential danger to the future and integrity of the real organization. For an outsider, or even a prospective member, telling the difference can be difficult, turning the search for fellowship into a minefield of deception. So, how can you spot a friend who is actually a foe? How do you identify a group that is not what it claims to be? There are several red flags that can indicate an organization is clandestine or has a hidden, illegitimate purpose. One of the most obvious signs is that the group is not recognized by any established official governing body. If it claims to be part of a larger network, but that network has no record of it, you should be immediately suspicious. Another warning sign is if the group is not listed in any official directories or registries. Legitimate organizations are typically proud of their status and ensure they are properly listed. The absence of an official record is a major anomaly. You should also be wary if the group claims affiliation with a governing body that, upon investigation, doesn't actually exist or is itself a questionable entity. They may also practice rituals or promote doctrines that are a clear departure from what is recognized by the mainstream tradition they claim to follow. A history of irregular behavior or involvement in scandals is another significant red flag. A simple search online can often reveal a pattern of complaints, legal troubles, or accusations of fraud. Finally, trust your instincts when it comes to their public face. A website or social media presence that looks unprofessional, contains grammatical errors, makes outlandish claims, or just feels suspicious is often a reflection of an illegitimate operation behind the scenes. If you suspect a group or an individual may be clandestine, there are concrete steps you can take to verify their legitimacy. The first and most important step is to check with the official governing body. If someone claims to represent a certain company, organization, or fraternity, contact that entity's headquarters directly and ask if the group or person is recognized. They are the ultimate authority and can tell you if they are legitimate. Next, conduct your own thorough research online. Search for the group's name and see if it appears in official directories. Look for discussions on public forums or social media groups to see if others have had experiences with them. While you have to be cautious about online rumors, a consistent pattern of negative feedback is a strong indicator of a problem. If you are considering joining a group or entering into a partnership, do not be afraid to ask for documentation that proves their legitimacy. This could include a charter, bylaws, registration documents, or other official papers that a genuine organization would readily provide. Remember, engaging with a clandestine entity, whether it's a fake lodge, a fraudulent business, or an intelligence operative posing as an ally, can have serious consequences. At best, it can lead to you being fed bad information and being manipulated. At worst, it can cause significant personal, financial, or reputational damage. In the world of nations and organizations, it can undermine the integrity and reputation of the entire community. It's super important to be careful and do your homework before teaming up with anyone or any group. You want to make sure they're the real deal, right? Like, think about it. There are so many scams out there. Whether it's a shady business or a group that seems too good to be true, being cautious is your best bet. In this tricky world, keeping your eyes wide open is really your only defense. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and share it.